Welcome back to P3. I'm again joined in studio by relationship workshop instructor Gary Bello. Gary, tell me about this connection between spirituality of the East, Hinduism, Buddhism, and what we're discovering in the West with emotional intelligence and the mind-body connection. What have we learned from these spiritual traditions?
Well, it's a process, and they've always been a process. So what we're learning from these traditions is that there is a connection between the mind and the body, absolutely. It's understood completely in those cultures. What we've done in the West now is we've brought it more into the emotional field. So in the 40 years of studying and practicing meditation, there isn't a lot of reference to the kind of thoughts that we experience as Westerners, and especially our emotional experience. Right. So what we're doing is we're upgrading it. We're taking the body, and we're realizing, well, we are emotions. We have a lot of emotions as Westerners. All people have emotions. But living in this culture, we have to then learn, how do those emotions affect our body? And more importantly, how do we stop ourselves from being emotionally available to others because of the imbalances, both mentally, but especially physically?
So you're talking about kind of reactivity, me getting reactive about things, and you're saying, how do you kind of own your emotions, but don't let it control you?
And understand them, and understand how they move your body. You know, by knowing your body type, what you're going to be able to do is work with it.
Not bizarre, it's just so interesting to me that your emotions are connected with your physical body.
Totally, totally. I mean, that's what keeps me so excited by this, and that's why my wife and I brought her into relationship trainings, because everyone should know about this.
So you're telling me I can help marriages by understanding your body type and giving you ways to exercises. So rather than just, let's talk about this issue, maybe you do some exercises so you can learn to calm down, so you can relate better?
Absolutely.
Okay. Wow, it sounds amazing. Okay, you told me you can analyze my stance.
You want to do something?
Yeah, show me.
Let's do a short thing. Okay, so just be yourself.
Okay,
so you're standing as yourself. Now, as soon as you're standing, what I notice immediately, what comes out is that your head's out in front of your body a little bit.
Okay.
Your arms are cocked. We call that the gunfighter pose. Okay. You're an action person. So you're the type of person who will not so much be inclined to ask others to help, although you're good in community. Sure. You're good with family, all of those things, but you're more the type of person who's going to want to do it themselves. Yeah. So you, instead of asking for help, will want to do it yourself. How do I know that? Your arms are out in front of your body, your head's out in front of your body, so you're out in front of yourself.
But you're telling me by the fact that my arms are in front actually connects with how I interact with people.
It totally. As a matter of fact, as you're more relaxed in that style, then what will happen is your arms will shoulders and arms will relax, the arms will go back a little bit. Now, also because of this position, you see your feet, you're going in two different directions.
They're out a bit.
They're just out a bit, not a lot, just a bit. They're out. Now, that's an indication that your pelvis is tilted, so you have a little bit of a tilt in the pelvis.
Huh. And what's the downside of this? I mean, you've obviously got my pose now.
Yeah.
What would be the kind of the downside, the problem areas you'd see? Okay, Randall, you've got to work at this.
All right. The first thing would be is you're going to need to have to pause more, and I'm sure your wife has probably said that. I know my wife tells me we have.
I'm always going.
Always going. Yeah. So the first thing's going to be is your adrenal glands will be overactive, and adrenaline in the body, which is wonderful to get us moving, but it's also a poison. We also need to keep it in check.
It's like an acid. It's really toxic at times.
And it can be. An overabundance of it can be tremendously harmful. Your body will tend to be too acidic, too much adrenaline. So you're needing to, when you see yourself starting to get emotionally upset, first thing to remember is take a deep breath, slow down the exhalation. That's simple.
Okay.
Now, the longer the exhalation, you're going to get rid of the carbon dioxide. That then is going to bring your body into more balance and your mind gets calmer. Within 3 breaths, you can train yourself to get right back into emotional balance.
This is really interesting. I have to sit down and chat with you so I can get my feet basically in line and then learn to calm down a lot more.
Now, what's important, though, is there is a series of exercises for each type. Each type requires a very specific form of exercise.
And are these ancient exercises, I mean, they're obviously from yoga traditions, these kinds of things?
That's some of them, but it's not just that. It's modern ones also. So I specifically employ Feldenkrais techniques, Reiki techniques. But there's wonderful techniques that are developing right now. They're an amazing amount, especially in this town. Vancouver is just so full of conscious people doing really wonderful things. But the point is, each of the 8 types requires a specific type of exercise program. It requires a specific type of diet.
So
and it's
it'll
unique
help
to them.
bring my acidity down, maybe, or those kinds of things.
And certain glands and organs in the body will tend to be weaker in each type. Your type, the digestive system, when you get under stress, it'll affect your digestive system. That's just genetics.
Gary, we have about 30 seconds. One thing you want to leave with people is say people need to understand this issue. In order to be healthy, what do they need to understand most?
Our bodies are amazing instruments. They're sophisticated, they're complicated, and they get out of balance. Please understand the importance of knowing your body, and don't judge your body against someone else's, because there's 8 types.
Right.
So know your body, know how it gets out of balance.
Don't look at a magazine and say, if I was only like that.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't do that. That's,
no.
Understand who you are. Gary, it's always great having you on. I'm learning so much. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All the best.
All right.
Coming up next, what's it really like to be inside an amazing automobile? You find out.